Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Appreciate you guys tuning in as always. So Stellantis is in the midst of having to make some tough decisions. Now for those of you who aren't aware, their sales numbers were down 15% last year and their former CEO recently resigned. A lot of their dealers have a glut of unsold inventory from the previous year. And on top of all of that, they're still searching for a new CEO. So it's a rough situation to say the least. Not that anyone is feeling sorry for them. Anyways, there have been some reports that Tim Kuniskis has turned down the CEO position and only wants to be the CEO of Dodge and Ram. Now, people are speculating on what the reason for that could be. If I had to guess, I'd say it's because he won't have full control over the company as a CEO. Now, from what I've been hearing, his philosophy for getting the North American brands back to success predicates around bringing back the V8 Hemi engine. Beyond that, there isn't really anything concrete to go on as far as his plans are concerned. Now, my understanding is that it'll be difficult for them to bring back the Hemi. Unlike Ford and GM, they don't have enough eco-friendly vehicles to offset the emissions caused by their Hemi engine units. Now, I've been hearing about Trump potentially rolling back some of those regulations, but I don't know how feasible that is politically. And even if it was, there is no guarantee the next president won't bring them back. In my opinion, if these regulations were so burdensome, I highly doubt they would have stayed. GM was able to get the US government to bail them out in 2008. If they really wanted to, they could lobby politicians to water down a lot of these regulations. The truth is, automakers don't really care much for removing these laws. Automakers prefer the turbo engines because they're more profitable. Naturally aspirated engines are not great for automakers because their business model goes against them. For starters, your average consumer isn't looking for reliability as much as they're looking for things like gas mileage or fancy features. Plus, automakers would prefer consumers that return when their vehicles hit 100,000 miles versus ones that return after 200,000. So the emission regulations, in my opinion, are an excuse for these automakers to deflect the blame for their crappy cars. Now going back to my main point, Stellantis is at a crossroads and they're looking for answers. But here's the truth, there's no future for the North American brands that involve Stellantis. If they continue to operate those brands, they will slowly descend into bankruptcy. The current board of directors sees the Dodge, Jeep, and Ram brands as more upscale cars compared to their competitors, even though they aren't. This is reflected in how they price and market the vehicles, and they got away with this thinking during the pandemic years because they were making really high profits, and that period, in my opinion, created a false self-image for a lot of the people in the company. And that image is the biggest hurdle preventing them from going back to pre-pandemic marketing and pricing. They have no desire to go back to the time where Jeeps were one of the more cheaper vehicles in the car market. To them, they feel like this brand is above that. It's not something for the rugged everyday working man, but more for upper middle class professionals. But even if that was the case, which it's not, upper middle class professionals are not going to pay luxury car prices for Jeeps and Rams. That's just not happening. And until that delusion goes away, Stellantis is not going to turn things around. And this is why I say Stellantis will bankrupt these brands if they keep them. Tim Kuniskis refusing the CEO position further confirms this. If Stellantis was willing to accept the right course of action, Tim would have accepted the offer. The fact that he refused shows otherwise. And by the way, I don't think the V8 engines are the solution to Stellantis' problems. It's pricing and branding. This brand has no business being the most expensive in the car market. At this point, given their situation, they should be striving to be the cheapest. They should market themselves as the more affordable brand catering to the everyday working class. That's what's needed right now to turn things around. Their current pricing and branding is only a reflection of their ability to price gouge customers during the COVID years. They didn't earn it. It's not like they had a reputation for good reliability or quality. It's just that they were more willing than their competitors to take advantage of buyers during COVID times. But I doubt the board of directors at Stellantis will ever admit that. And this is why I think the only way Jeep and Ram get back on track is if Stellantis sells them. I hope Stellantis does the right thing, but I highly doubt it. I think they'll run those companies into the ground due to their greed and insistence on making them luxury brands. But that's just my opinion. Let me know what you guys think, and if you agree or disagree. And if you like this video, make sure to like and subscribe. See you guys in the next one.